I immigrated here in 1984, started this business, the Patient Education Institute, in 1995. We have now 8 investors, about 40 people working. It's a healthcare IT company. We do software for health education and integrate them with electronic medical records in hospitals. We sell them to hospitals, and also we export them overseas, mostly in the Middle East.
How did you end up in Iowa?
I went to the University of Iowa when I first applied. There were 5 centers doing that major that I wanted to specialize in, computer and instructional design. And the University of Iowa was one of them and had a very good center. So I applied to 5, and it was about August 17, which schools were starting, and I got the admission letter in Beirut at the time, that time, and I immediately flew, got the visa and flew without waiting for admission from other colleges. I got them later, but never moved. I liked the area.
So what were your parents' expectations?
When I came to America, I came to do my doctorate in computer-based instructions. Both of my parents did not have a college degree, but it was assumed that all of us would have college degree, and we did. And they wanted me to study medicine, but didn't want to, so they expected me to do, not they expected me, but I came here to do a PhD, but it was expected I would get it. So it was like out of the question I would not do my doctorate. And
what has made you so ambitious?
The ambition has a lot of causes, so it always existed, but the parents in Lebanon expect and put all their efforts to educate their children, and so that's why I said they basically expected, and I expected also to show that I achieved my goal when I came here.
So where is your family now?
My dad passed away. My mom is here. My sister is here. Brother is here. My sister was in Paris, and she went back to Lebanon. Here means my sister is in Washington D.C. Brother is in Sacramento. I have a sister who is architect, but then did MBA, and she manages software companies. And I have another sister who is CNO, Chief Nursing Officer. And my brother manages and establishes fast food chains.
Who are you most like in your family?
People say I'm definitely different. I can be like my dad when I'm social. I'm generally introvert. I like to work on my own, and when I'm creating, and that's not my dad. My dad was the ultimate social person like Raya, and but my mom was more calculating fiscally, and I'm more like her this way.
Have you always had a passion for computers?
It was always assumed that you'll be doctor, physician, you'll be physician. And so when I went to college and got exposed to computer, I went and studied computers, and I like teaching all the time, so I wanted to use computers for teaching. And it was a fight that I didn't want to do medicine. I want to study computers and instructional design education.
How did your parents react to the decision?
And basically, I put them under the status quo. Like I'm not doing it, and they tried to put pressure and didn't succeed. And my father told me, I never understood what you are doing, because they understand engineering, understand law. When you tell them computer-based instruction, and they never. My father never understood the concept. He passed away before he did.
What kind of parent are you?
I think we are. It's different. My parents were very progressive, and relative to people in the area were very, very progressive in Beirut. We are relatively progressive, but life here is different. There's now much more pressure on children. At the time, we were 4 kids. Like, you do your homework, you play. They didn't worry about taking us to ballet, music, and gymnastics. And there's much more pressure now on children here. So ours were basically, I don't remember anybody get me a toy. We invented toys. Like the shoes and the chairs, we invented them. Yeah, maybe it leads to more creativity. I don't know, but yeah, it's different. But the love is the same. The love is the same. Yeah.
What do you see for the future of your company?
So the company now is 20 years old, and we serve about 15 million patients, because ultimately they are the ultimate users of our software. 15 million patients a year. And we exported our software to the Middle East. And so basically, part of the services we do is we do websites for governmental entities, and one of the websites is visited now there by 4 million patients a month. And that's a very big, that's one way also we measure success, not in terms of money, but also in terms of how much impact we are having out there in healthcare. And the plan is now integrating the software with electronic medical record and a patient portal system. And part of all of this activity is ultimately merging with the companies that are in this field, which is sometimes called now patient engagement.
Do you want to expand your company to more countries?
Models exist for us to export and replicate that business in Latin America and Southeastern Asia. And we did explore Latin America. We went to Brazil and to Panama. But we are a small company, so we decided in the end to bite what we can chew. And our background is from the Middle East, me and the medical director who started the company. And we have a better angle on the Middle East in a lot of ways. First, we have the software, a 15,000 educational item for health education, and but in Brazil we still have to translate it. So kind of we have a much better competitive position in the Middle East for a variety of factors, and that's why we're focusing on this market. But we did plant some seeds in Latin America.
Have you had any bad experiences as an immigrant in America?
I have never had any discrimination in America. Even after September 11, I never noticed anything, and thanks probably because it's Iowa, and wherever is the factor, I never noticed it. When I first came here, it was really there were really a lot of opportunities. I had instructors and advisors that were going out of their way to help me. And yeah, it's take me places, introduce me to places that could hire me, and which is like wasn't easy when you first come to be hired. But they saw that I knew my stuff, and they wanted to introduce me to. There were 2 companies here developing instructional materials on computers in the 80s. One was Conduit, one was Center for Educational Experimentation, and I got a very good job there. So people went out of their way to help me. Wow. And many of them, if I remember the 3, most of them were also Jews. So it doesn't mean that we get along very, very well here. It's kind of like I never felt anything. To the opposite, I felt opportunity in this aspect, that there was no discrimination and people helping and going out of their way.
How do you feel about one of your daughters going to your alma mater?
Yes, I'm excited. What matters to me most was for them picking a school, a major that they like and they want, and the best school for that. That's what basically mattered for me. And if that happens to be here, it's even better.
Do you have any interesting stories from your first few days in Iowa?
Well, the first day, I remember like 20 different stories, the first 24 hours. I remember I arrived at midnight, and they dropped me at the Union, at the hotel, at the Memorial Union. I didn't know where I was. So when I woke up in the morning and I saw the river, and I saw the ducks, and I saw the squirrels, I heard about squirrels for years, I haven't seen one. And I was so fascinated, and I said to myself, I wish the university isn't far away from here so I can come every months here. I didn't know I was in the middle of the university. And that was the first hour when I opened my eyes and saw that, I thought, I wish the university was around. And I was in the middle of it. But I have tons of stories. It's amazing, the first 24 hours. I remember them vividly, like yesterday.
What do you think has made you so successful?
What made me so successful? Well, there might be things that usually cultural things. When you come from Lebanon, you are expected, as I mentioned before, to get education. And I was expecting to make success so I can help the parents. So there's like these expectations help, and maintaining an image with the family, and that thing also kind of put pressure. It's there. The other thing is you don't expect governmental help. It's kind of like you are on your own. So there is no safety net there. So I had to work. I have to even to some degree support myself. And the other thing, there was some safety net when you start a business, like if I go belly up, I can always go live with my parents. So there was always that safety net. It's nice to know, so you can let you bet everything sold, and also there is I came from a civil war, and there wasn't much resources. When you come here, you appreciate the resources, the libraries. Even in '84 there was internet. You had to pay subscription to get data, but there was resources that you had. You appreciate them and you use them more. And these are maybe on the cultural side. On the personal side, it's more basically has to do with delayed gratification, being willing to work hard, and I drove a car without ACs until 40, and so something like that, and willing to roll up your sleeves. So even now, if some lights have been fixed and there's nobody, you fix them. So that attitude is very, very important. The most important thing also is to put goals. There's just put goals, and I think these are not immigrant values. They apply to anybody. If they have them, they make them successful. I think if there is sometimes any emphasis on immigrants being somehow a little bit more successful, as we were talking about, because there were selective factors, and you ask them to come with degrees, they know TOEFL, they know English, and they can afford the ticket, this automatically selects people who are more likely to succeed.
Why is focusing on delayed gratification important?
It's kind of sometimes I'm extreme, in this aspect, old-fashioned. To me, if I have to buy stuff, I save for it before I buy it. And I think that that helps. I don't like to overspend or get burdened with loans. Kind of like the same concept as delayed gratification. Work for it, then enjoy it. Versus, I want to get rich now. So I think I don't know if that value makes a difference, but it makes me happy. In the sense you don't have much burdens of loans or mortgages, or whether in business or personal. And I don't know from where I got it. It may be from family, maybe from my mom, not necessarily Lebanese, because now everywhere you see people with loans. It's commercialism.
How did Iowa help you become successful?
Definitely Iowa, there was a lot of opportunities through non-discrimination, so they were open to me. I wasn't limited in any aspect. But also Iowa, the fact that I have less friends here, and so I get to concentrate more on work. So creativity sometimes needs solitude. You need to sit. You need quiet. I can't imagine myself in a city where there are a lot of sounds or a lot of parties being as creative as I am here, and that in a lot of way helps. Not to mention the space, the nature, the large offices, that helps me. And so I can't imagine myself being creative in Beirut. Not to mention, of course, Beirut at the time, anytime, as you know now, the Middle East with all its problems, people have to worry about mundane things like getting a loaf of bread and that, and reading all the depressing news, and you can't concentrate, you can't create. And here, when you get isolated, sometimes for the first 5 years, you don't know what's happening. It's unlike now where everybody's talking ISIS and all of these depressing news, and sometimes it affects you. It decreases the productivity. But Iowa, in this aspect, that environment of calm and frankly, in my age, I'm not the college student, there is less partying. When you are in Beirut, it's kind of like relatives drop on you, and I wonder, like, how can you study, guys? How can you? Because they are always partying. I had a cousin who was studying in America, and so when I was visiting, he went back to Beirut, and so I saw him every night party, and I said, why did you leave America? He said, because it was all party and I kept being interrupted. And I thought, like, what? You are partying here every day.
What's your favorite thing about America?
It has to do with the concept of dignity. What does dignity mean? For instance, if you were in Syria and an officer can come and hit you, you can't do anything about it. There, there is justice, and there is peace, and that alone is enough to create an environment of productivity. So it is that dignity that really I appreciate most about America. Like there is equality. If an officer hits me for no reason, it doesn't happen. You can get back. If the president slaps me, he's in trouble. And that doesn't exist anywhere else. And that's what I appreciate more, because it creates a sense of safety. And probably me coming from the Middle East, and you see what's happening, I think these revolutions are all about that. It's not about people want more money, they just want more dignity. And that environment creates a sense of stability and peace that can get you be productive. And that maybe I was describing that peace of mind that lets you be creative, and it has to do with all of this. It doesn't have to do with necessarily large universities or big money. That, to me, is what's most valuable here.